Hey everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. This video is going to be another one of my breakfast chats. So if you want to grab a meal and come hang out with me for the next 20-ish minutes or so, we're gonna do that. And if you don't want to, you can click out. So today is actually the last day that I have here in Miami before I go home to Maryland for Thanksgiving. I'm actually flying out later this evening, but so for breakfast, I'm sort of just trying to like finish off everything that I have in the fridge, and I don't really know what to call this. It's oatmeal, and then I put a shredded carrot in it. I put like nutmeg in it to make it like carrot cake oats, but then I also added a berry powder because I wanted it to be more like berry flavored, and then I had a bunch of pomegranate seeds, which I think you can kind of see. So I added pomegranate seeds, and I had like a little mini passion fruit, so I added that. Oh, and I also added ginger to the oatmeal, and then I had half of a banana, so I put that on top. And I'm ashamed to say I've caved and I've bought the like little mini cookie cutters, so I cut the banana into hearts. And you know, it's sort of like a mishmash of a breakfast, but to be honest, I'm just the kind of person who likes to experiment with flavors and put a lot of different contrasting flavors in my oatmeal anyways, and I feel like for the most part I just like have to come up with a common name for it or something to call it on Instagram, because I can't be like, this is my random flavored oatmeal bowl, and people would be like, what the heck? And also if I listed all of these ingredients, people wouldn't even read the caption. So when I post this on Instagram, I don't know, maybe I'll say what I really put all in it as a joke, but like I would probably just say like tropical carrot cake oatmeal. I really don't know, but it tastes good. I like mixing it up and kind of like adding veggies to my oatmeal every once in a while, like carrots or zucchini. I've never tried cauliflower, but I've seen other people do it too, because it just sort of like adds more earthiness to the oatmeal, I guess. But it's still kind of hot, but it's good. Okay, so today I'm actually going to talk about something that Jenny Kim requested on our last breakfast chat video. I have it in front of my computer. It's like right here, but you guys just like can't see it. But she asked, so she said, hey Kate, just wondering for our next breakfast chat, can we do something school related like organization, time management, dealing with stress, etc.? I would really love that. And then she said, love your videos, and thank you, that was really sweet. And a lot of you liked it, so I'm assuming that's what you guys would want to talk about. And I figured, you know, I'm in school, so it's not that hard to talk about. So just to preface all of this, I feel like everyone pretty much knows what I'm studying in school, but in case you don't, I go to school here in Miami. I'm going to graduate school and I'm pursuing my doctorate in physical therapy. So it's a 3-year program, and yeah, it's consecutive. I don't get summers off, which kind of stinks. But yeah, I went to undergrad at the University of Pittsburgh, and I got a Bachelor of Science in Rehabilitation Science, and I minored in Spanish as well. And I also had a certificate in pathokinesiology and rehabilitation, but that's kind of extraneous. You guys didn't really need to know that. And yeah, so I've sort of like been through the college system, like applying to college from high school and applying to graduate school from college, which not that many people do, but I did, I guess. So I've been in school for a very, very long time, longer than I would like to admit, to be honest. But I feel like through all of my time in the academic institutions of the United States of America, I have developed a pretty good organization and time management system. But that being said, I feel like a lot of, I don't know, people who are asking me questions about college are kind of younger, and I just want to say kudos to you guys, because when I was in high school, I definitely was not organized, and I wasn't really like trying to look to be organized either, which definitely bit me in the butt. And I've mentioned it before, but like in high school, I took a lot of hard classes. I mean, I took all honors classes and AP classes, and I took 4 APs, like 3 of the hardest ones that my high school offered in my senior year. So I was a really busy person, but I was always studying and I didn't really have much of a social life. But I mean, honestly, it did pay off, and it definitely prepared me for college. And I did have some harder semesters in college where I was literally studying every waking moment of the day. I hate physics. Just want to put that out there. But I definitely think like through me challenging myself and taking a lot of challenging classes, I prepared myself more for graduate school, and I learned how to be as efficient and effective as possible and manage my time. So I'd be more than happy to like tell you guys what I do. But also, I am a type A personality. So if you guys don't know, there's like, I hope I'm not saying anything incorrectly, but there's like two main types of personalities. There's type A personalities and type B personalities. And type A personalities, I feel like usually get more of a negative stereotype because I guess they're more high strung, which I definitely used to be really, really high strung. But they're more high strung. They like organization, like they like planning out things, and they don't really like to leave anything up to chance. So like you might be type A if you really like making to-do lists and organizing things and like knowing what you're going to be doing when you go on vacation before you actually go on vacation. Whereas like someone who's type B might just like plan to go to an area and see what happens. They're usually more laid back. I think they're less likely to get stressed out. And yeah, like I think they like think more fluidly. But that being said, type A people are usually a lot more organized and maybe more motivated to get things done than type B people. Because if you don't have a plan, you're not going to carry anything out. But that's my type A bias. So my organization methods that work for me might not work for you. Like I've mentioned earlier in a previous video, people also learn in different ways too. I am like a written learner, I guess. I really like to write things out and to read them, and that's what works best for me. But some people are visual learners where they like to like watch movies and that's how they learn information best. And some people are tactile learners, so they need like hands-on activities. So if I'm describing my study routine and it doesn't really apply to you, just keep that in mind. I think that's actually the most important thing that I've learned, is to determine what type of learner you are and use that to your advantage. So like I luck out because I feel like most of the education like system, it's better for like written learners. Like you read from a textbook and then your teacher talks to you about it in class. But like I usually listen to what the teacher says in class, but for me to really understand the information, I have to read it from the textbook. But some people may be more like a video or like tactile learners, and then college is a lot harder. But I don't really know how I got off on this tangent. Sorry. But yeah, definitely like keep that in mind. But for me, and I think like no matter what type of learner you are, honestly, I think the most important thing is to have a planner, because I do have a planner. I've had a planner, I think, since I've always been in school. I went to private school when I was younger, and that was like sort of a thing. Like we each got a folder with our names on it, and we got a planner, and we had to write our assignments into our planner. So I guess planning has been ingrained in me since I was a little child. But when I went to high school, we got planners as well. And when I went to college, they didn't give us planners. But I bought a planner because I was so used to writing things down that I have to do. And also, I don't know about you guys, but I find it so satisfying when you make a to-do list and you get to cross something off that you finished. And it's just like the task doesn't feel complete unless I've written it down and I can cross it off. And even if I do something that wasn't on my to-do list, I'll like write it on my to-do list just so I can cross it off. Let me know if you've ever done that. But yeah, I have a planner. I got this one off of Amazon. I do really like it. It has like inspirational quotes, but if I'm being honest, I don't read them. I just use it for the planning section. But the thing I like about it is it has like a full month right here. And then after each month, it has like the week. So this was a week where I didn't write anything. I don't like those weeks. Some days I like forgo my organization schedule, but it honestly bites me in the butt. So I'll show you like a normal week for me. So this is last week. So usually I have like every day completely filled out with a list of things to do. And yeah. And then on the weekends, I don't have as many things to do because I don't have classes. So I write like a to-do list for the whole weekend. But I don't know how in detail you guys want me to get, but I guess I'll just show you. So like here, I guess Monday, November 14th, I like have all of my basic tasks written down, and then at the top, if I have anything important due for school, I write that, usually in all caps, and I highlight it so I don't forget it. And then in brackets, I put the video that I'm planning on publishing that day for YouTube, and if I was going to film a video, I would write that as well. That's basically it. And if I have like an appointment or something, I'll write it in all caps like at the top. But if it's just like normal, I usually use like lowercase. I feel like this is gonna be a really boring video. I mean, I'm sorry. So I guess that like pretty much covers it for organization. And for time management, I feel like if you were an organized person, you manage your time well as well. So like even just getting a planner, I think you'll realize your life starts to become so much more organized and everything sort of falls into place more. But I guess some other tips for time management is like, for me, I actually get most of my schoolwork done either in the morning or like during my lunch break in between classes versus late at night, because I kind of like to unwind and relax before I go to bed at night. And I also find a lot less motivated to do work because for me, I'm a morning person. And when I get home from school, all I want to do is eat dinner and then like collapse into bed, or like I'll edit a lot of YouTube videos at night because it's dark, so I can't be filming something anyway, so I can just edit. And I find like that's more fun for me than like reading a chapter of a textbook sometimes, so I'll be more motivated to do it in the evening when I'm a little more tired. So yeah, I sort of plan the activities that I have to do around like how much time they're going to take and how motivated I'm going to be to do them, because like it'll be really easy to check off all of my to-do list activities that I didn't want to do, that I did want to do, and then like not get to the other ones. Sometimes I know that I just need to study for an hour, so I'll force myself to do that before I can do something fun. But yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it. Like, oh, I will say for time management, I think it's important that you like block out your time and obviously get all of your things done. But one of the most important things I think when it comes to school and school stress, especially in college when you're more independent, is like learning that some days you just may not get everything done, and it's equally as important to set time like aside just for yourself and to do something not school related, because burnout is definitely a real thing. I feel like a lot of kids experience it in college. They go really hard and then they just like feel like they cannot do anything, anymore. And I used to get burned out too. Like at the end of the semester when it was finals week, I was like, oh my gosh, I just can't wait for break. I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna do nothing, I'm gonna watch Netflix. But now I feel like I'm able to sort of balance that a little more, and I will admit it's towards the end of the semester and I am really ready for a break, but I feel less burned out because I set time aside for myself. So in the morning, I wake up at 5:30 every morning, and I know that's unattainable for everyone, but personally, I like to wake up then, and I'll do yoga, and then I usually have like a little bit of time where I can just do whatever I want before my classes start. So I'll like watch a YouTube video or answer some Tumblr questions or journal, and that's really nice. And then in the evening after dinner, I will study for a little or like work on YouTube or whatever. But then I take about an hour to myself to do nothing. And it's not necessarily an hour before I go to bed, because sometimes I am studying right up until I go to bed. But it's usually like half an hour after dinner, and usually I'll go for a walk and listen to a podcast or listen to some music. But yeah, personally, I usually do go for a walk just because the way my grad school classes are, like, I'm sitting on my butt all day. And so I just like bike to school to sit on my butt, to bike home to sit on my butt. So it's nice to like break that up and like get some movement in, because as a physical therapist, movement, I know the importance of movement. But yeah, and actually the next thing she wanted to talk about was dealing with stress, and I feel like that definitely plays a role too. Like, some days you're just not going to be able to get everything done, and that is completely okay. And I know me saying that to you isn't going to help you at all, but you just have to like learn to realize that. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but like my hardest semester in college, I took physics, which I hate, and I took like the hardest Spanish class, and I was taking some other classes, and it's just like the combination of classes that I chose was basically like the dumbest combination ever. I talked to my advisor after, and she's like, I don't know why I let you take all those classes, that's a lot of work. I was like, thanks. But yeah, it was definitely the hardest semester of my life. I would literally wake up early on the weekends to study and would stay up late just to finish studying. Like, I had so much work that I needed to be doing, or like I made myself do so much work so I didn't fall behind on my classes, and I was very, very stressed all of the time. And I think from that experience I learned to be more productive and to not procrastinate. But like, in retrospect, I've learned that, you know what, I survived that semester and life goes on, and I probably could have taken a break, because it definitely took a toll on me. Like, I didn't have much of a social life at all. I didn't even have a job then. Like, I was literally studying all the time. And you have to think that, like, even if you are in school and you're pursuing a degree that you're passionate about, you still need to set aside time for your own personal growth and to do things that interest you outside of your career. Like, I'm studying physical therapy, but I love doing Instagram and YouTube, and these things definitely are not really related to physical therapy, but I enjoy doing them, and it's sort of like my mini break time or my vacation time from school. And I feel like because I'm able to mentally focus on other things and like take a break from school, I feel more refreshed when I like go back to my classwork. And that's the thing too, like, we're all multifaceted people. We all have multiple things that we like, so it's good to explore your interests. Like, for example, if you like rock climbing, even if you only go rock climbing like once a month, I think that's great that you're exploring another interest that you normally wouldn't. And it's great for stress relief, and it's like something to look forward to like set a routine for yourself to treat yourself. Like, you should definitely set aside time, because I think that's the most important thing that I've learned throughout everything. Like, even though school can be stressful, and sometimes you might be unorganized, and sometimes you might not get a good grade on that quiz, one thing to keep in perspective, and a question that I always ask myself is, Caitlin, 10 years from now, will you really care? And like, for example, let's say I have a final for a really important class. 10 years from now, I'll probably care if I failed that final and I got kicked out of my program because I didn't get my degree. So like, yeah, then I need to study. But if I'm really, really stressed and I studied for a quiz and I like feel like I know like 80-90% of it, and I like don't know what else to do, and I feel myself starting to get like upset about it, I'm gonna be like, Caitlin, 10 years from now, you're not even gonna remember this quiz. And I know it seems like it's such an important and significant event in that moment, and you're getting really stressed and really worked up about it, but you need to like consider the bigger picture. Even you can even apply this to things not related to school, like with your friends too, or like arguments. Like, I used to get in arguments with my parents all the time, and now if I like can tell that I'm on the brink of a bicker with my parents or like with a friend, I can be like, Caitlin, it's really not worth it in the end. Like, 10 years from now, you're not gonna remember this fight. You still want to be friends with your friend, etc. And even then, you can think like 5 months from now, you're probably not gonna care if you got like an 85 or a 90 on that quiz. And in the grand scheme of things, your grades don't really matter anyways. And I know that's really hard for some people to admit and like say, and it was definitely hard for me in undergrad too. But what really matters is that you're learning the material and you're going to be able to apply it in the real world and be able to help people and do something you're passionate about. So that's my like level-headed approach to things, and I feel like it's definitely, this perspective has definitely helped me a lot in like calming down and being less of a high-strung person and not freaking out every time I get an assignment, because you know, I'm going to do my assignments, I'm going to do the best that I can. As long as I try as hard as I can, I should be happy with my end result. You know, sometimes I may get a really, really awesome grade, and sometimes I may just get like an okay grade, and sometimes, but hopefully not, I get a bad grade. Usually I do get good grades, so just to like say, but I realized that worrying about the grade I'm going to get isn't getting me anywhere and it's not productive. And instead I could just be studying or doing something else, just temporarily distract myself so I come back and I feel refreshed. But yeah, those are my like general opinions on school and dealing with stress, I suppose. I hope this talked about some of the things you wanted to talk about, Jenny and everyone else. If you guys have any other video topics, definitely let me know in the comments below. I do like making these. It's kind of nice to ramble, although I will say I'm not very good at eating while I do it. Like, I eat occasionally, but I still have like more than half of my breakfast left. But I don't want to make these like super long. I want to make them like 20-ish minutes or so. So maybe one day I will eat all of my food. Who knows? But now I'm gonna go watch a YouTube video and finish the rest of this, and I will see you guys in whatever next video I publish. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on all of this, what you do to stay organized, relieve stress, and future video suggestions. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.